Welcome to the Tea Time Christmas special with me, Ali Monjack. My guests are Adrian Lee Worger, who has been a pranic healer for many years, who will be giving us some tips on how to look after ourselves this festive period and into the new year. And Leigh Miles, who is a choreographer on the fun, popular TV show Mrs. Brown's Boys, who is full of upbeat, festive cheer. Let's find out more. Warning, if any of this interview does affect you, the number for the Samaritans is 116 123. So, Adrian, welcome to Tea Time with me, Ali Monjack. How are you?
I'm marvellous. Looking forward to the next few days.
Fantastic. So what are your plans? Because you're in tier 2?
I'm in tier 2, fortunately. But having said that, I follow the rules, but I'll be going for a walk. I live on the south coast now, and I will be going for a walk as normal. Maybe I'll put a bit of tinsel around my head, and then we'll enjoy a roast with the family.
Oh, lovely. I do love Christmas. I really, really do. This year, I'm going to be having a Zoom Christmas, though, because this week I've sadly gone from tier 2 to tier 4. So what better way to welcome in a new tier, though, by having, a Zoom family Christmas. So
yeah, it is. I totally appreciate it's very difficult for a lot of people this year. Got to be trying to be grateful for what we got and enjoy that moment, and then we'll deal with next year as it comes.
2021. So I think we are all going to have to find ways of looking after ourselves, aren't we? That is paramount after 2020. What an extraordinary year that's played out, and people that perhaps didn't have mental health problems to start with have now got mental health problems, suffering from anxiety and loneliness.
Absolutely. I know, because I've been treating quite a few, that the fear aspect that people are going through the moment of financial, company, actually being in the same homes as people that, even though they might be married, don't generally spend 24/7 with the same people all the time. So it's been a huge challenge for a lot of people. So stress, anxiety, and the fear of what people are going through and what might be. It's been a real challenge.
Yeah, definitely. It didn't take you, though, a global pandemic, did it, to turn to Pranic Healing and discover Pranic Healing? This has been very much part of your own journey.
Yeah, so if you ask me to say how did I basically, and I'm basically talking about my story, not because I need to talk about my story to help me, but if one part of my story kind of helps someone else open up and search for help, then I've done my job, really. I basically suffered with clinical depression for over 20 years. It was on and off. There were some very good times in between that, but I literally went through the darkest times of clinical depression. It kind of started from a child. I came from that generation where my parents thought if they told me things, it would motivate me, when it did the absolute opposite. When they would say, "Oh, you'll never be any good at that." And I love my parents, by the way, but a lot of my generation come from a negative way of parenting, and it actually wasn't very good for us at the time. And then when I was 27, and I never felt really good enough for a relationship. I was always wondering where I was in the world. And then my parents, my father died when I was 27. And this was a guy I didn't even really particularly like. And that was my first time I fell into depression. My relationships fell apart. I couldn't hold my job. And it was very strange because this was a guy that I didn't even really like. And it was kind of, I was mourning the emotion and the parent that I didn't have, or I wanted. And so that was my first state. And then for over 20 years, on and off, through helping my mum also went through clinical depression. It was all a bit of a nightmare, really. So I was looking after her, rescuing her every year to 18 months. I was also looking after myself, trying to find my way. I did actually have a lot of time off with stress and depression. My life was really, there was a lot of alcohol involved just to take off the edges. Now, I can't say I was an alcoholic, but that was my way of being a different person, if you like, rather than the one that's sitting at home crying and thinking, what's happening in my life? So it was all a bit of a mask. And then, so for many, many years, that's what I went through. And it was only when Pranic Healing actually found me in 2017. I didn't find it because I had nowhere else to go. But it has completely changed my life in the most amazing ways. Now, through the lockdown, where a lot of people were suffering, now it was pretty tough, but through my practices and what I know about healing and meditation, I remained very stable, which I feel blessed that I had that. And I knew that we would get over it, and we're still getting over it. So I was very blessed for all that time.
Oh, brilliant. So talk about your first experience with Pranic Healing then, because that's really interesting. It's about, I know as a Reiki Master teacher, it's about experiencing the energies, isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, I was in 2017, I was literally sitting, by the way, my mum's very well these days, but I was literally sitting on my mum's sofa thinking, and I had a big business loss as well, and it was a disaster. So I was literally sitting on her sofa thinking, what have I done with my life? And literally nowhere to go. And a friend of mine who was suffering with leukemia phoned me for no other reason, just to have a chat. And he said, I'm having this healing from a Pranic Healer, which has practically reversed his leukemia. And I literally didn't have anything else at that time. And I thought, maybe I should go and have a look at this. I don't know what to do. So I did. And in my healing, so I went to see his healer. And when I was having the healing, I literally felt this big grey mask coming off of me. And then I kind of slept throughout my sessions. Before I knew it, I was on a level 1 course of Pranic Healing. And what I loved about Pranic Healing, it's one of the fastest growing complementary therapies in the world, right up to date for this strange, challenging world we live in. And what it did for me, it's like a cookbook. So I didn't know anything about healing. I just went along, I did the course, and I took the books home with me. So it's like learning how to cook. Somebody's got a bad back, somebody's got depression, it's in the book, how to do the healing. So I took this book home, and literally, since from that moment, I started healing other people. So one, I was healing myself, and then I was healing other people, getting these results. And it was like, wow, how's that happened? And so as I was getting more and more results, I really started to believe in it. And it was just awesome. And now, obviously, my passion is to help people who suffer particularly with stress, anxiety, depression, particularly men, because I know that I've got a passion about men searching for help, because we're not very good, I'm afraid, at reaching out and finding that help. So if one piece of my story of talking about what a failure I felt, what the trauma I went through, about how I couldn't hold down relationships, how it affects your sex life, how it affects everything in your life, I'm happy to talk about it, because if it just resonates with one person, one man, and go, okay, he's talking about it, maybe I can search for help, then I've done my job. And there's so much of it out there, particularly in this lockdown, as we've said. So going back to Pranic Healing, and particularly meditation, it's like reprogramming our mind. So I mentioned in that early childhood, we are programmed, and we are programmed, you know, in our childhood. And so what I needed to do with meditation and healing is literally reprogram. So it's like taking your computer that's going slowly, it won't work, taking it back to the repair shop and getting new programs. So with meditation, and particularly meditation on twin hearts, which is one of the few meditations in scientific and medical journals, it was looked at it, and it's been proven to significantly reduce anxiety levels, give you more positive emotional traits, give you faster reactions and responses, quicker brain responses too. And the main thing for probably sports people, it gives you more gamma wave activity. So I'm sure there's other meditations out there that do that, but they're not in a medical journal. So I practice this every day, and literally I've reprogrammed my mind. And I now don't, of course, the negative thoughts come back now and again, but even if that's about a person or somebody who's just cut you up in the traffic, I just change it to thinking not about bad words about that person, but to think, I don't know what type of day that person's having. They might be on the way to the hospital, you know, to get their child or whatever, and they've probably not even seen me, because thoughts and emotions can affect all of our life. And that one thought for that day can affect you for hours, if not days. So if you just spin it around, reprogram yourself, which what I have done with Pranic Healing, and many others have done. And there's many amazing stories. It just changes your life.
As you know, you're talking to the converted. I mean, you know, I really do believe in those sorts of things. And I mean, the way I came across Reiki years ago is it wasn't long after, you know, my father passed away. And also it, you know, it suddenly occurred to me, I mean, it sounds crazy, doesn't it, really? But it suddenly occurred to me that we're all made up of energy. You know, everything is made up of energy. The planet is made up of energy, and it's how you channel that energy, isn't it, in life, really?
Everything is energy. Now, you know, for anybody who doesn't, you know, kind of, you know, understand energy, is that there's little things when somebody, you might think of someone, and the next minute they're calling you on the telephone. That is no coincidence. It's just about energy. If you practice feeling energy, you can actually really start feeling it after a few weeks, a few months, or whatever. People are different, but it's amazing how energy works. And for instance, curling photography can actually now take photos or shots of the energy body. So with modern day science, we can now see the energy body around people, which a lot of people would need proof that energy exists.
And I mean, if you logically think about it as well, I mean, this is something that, you know, I thought about, as I said, when I started to think about, you know, holistic healing and all those types of things. I mean, it's logical, isn't it? You know, wind, air. I mean, where else do we go with this? I mean, sun, that gives out its own energy. All the planetary aspects give out energy. I mean, it's what we're all made up of.
Absolutely. And I suppose there's a few free tips that I would like to talk to people about. If one is that in life we don't breathe properly, and so when we have stress and anxiety, we need to belly breathe. So just like a little baby, they breathe through their belly. Most adults now breathe through their chest. So if anybody is feeling stress or anxiety, we need to make sure it goes into the belly. So I can make a big belly anyway, but you know, just breathing in, make your belly going out. And when you breathe, you know, breathing in, make your belly go out. And when you're breathing out, you know, bring it in. So stress and anxiety, just by doing 5 minutes of belly breathing, and when you are breathing, you just hold it for a second or two, and then you breathe in and out. And each time you do that, you hold it for a second or two. You literally calm down, and that's just about the energy body. You're expelling all of that used up energy and bring in some lovely fresh stuff. And it's, again, that's amazing what we can do. Now, I live by the sea and I'm very lucky. But just having a 20-minute salt bath can also have the same effect. We know what we feel like when we go to the sea. It's awesome. You kind of feel, some people feel exhausted because they've had all that bad used up energy taken away. Some people feel with loads of energy. But, you know, having a 20-minute salt bath, a kilo of salt, get in it for 20 minutes, put some lavender drops in there, and then shower off afterwards. Get as much as your body in there as possible. One, you'll have a great night's sleep, and not a lot of people do that.
No.
And just do that on a regular basis. It's awesome.
Do you know what? I think I'm going to do that tonight, Adrian.
Give it a go. It's a kilo of salt. Epsom salts is not strong enough. You just need the cheapest salt you can find. Table salt. You can pick it up for 27 pence in a well-known supermarket for 3/4 of a kilo. I buy the water softener salt. It's about 10, 11 pounds for 25 kilos. And that's what I do. It just takes all the used up energy away, makes you feel fresh.
Instead of putting your Sunday joint in the salt, put yourself in it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Fantastic. That sounds good to me, actually. I mean, it is, you're right. It's little things like that. And I just, you know, because I the last time I was at the seaside was in the summer. I was actually, I had a couple of days, managed to have a couple of days in Bournemouth. Because it didn't really look like anybody was going anywhere at one point. So,
no.
But just that whole thing of going and swimming in the sea was just amazing. It's that whole experience, isn't it, of having, you're right, the salt water, the smell of it, the sunshine, the whole thing is just amazing.
And I think probably this also reminds me of, like, we like to go on holiday, and generally most people go on holiday to a beach somewhere, you know, wherever it is around the world, because we're living in a stressful world, you know, and most people go, I can't wait to get to the weekend for a break. I can't wait to get on my holiday. And it's literally because we've got all this energy around us. We get to the holiday and we then relax. And sometimes we get ill for that first couple of days because you've got all of that negative energy coming off of us. But with meditation, and I will talk about meditation Twin Hearts again. Now, it does take some practice. It's 22 minutes. And even when I first started, you know, for the first 5-10 minutes, first few goes, I was going, oh, I can't be bothered with this because I've got all these thoughts going around in my head. But literally now, I go on a holiday. I don't need to look forward to my holiday or the weekend. I go on holiday every day for 22 minutes. And that's my break. And I kind of, it's not thinking about anything. It's about concentration and of awareness, just being still for that time. And I don't put it in my day. I actually get up earlier to do it, because if you try and put it in your day, you'll never do it. So I just get up earlier, and it gives me more energy for the day ahead. And people think I'm crazy, but I get up at 5 o'clock and I got more energy and do my meditation. I get up at 7 o'clock, I got less energy. That's the way it is.
No, I'm completely with you. I'm a little bit of an early riser, and I can't go, you know, every morning I have a ritual. I have to do my meditation, otherwise I can't function either. So I'm completely with you. But for anybody starting out to do meditation, what would you suggest? How do they go about this?
It's literally probably joining a group. I mean, I've got a group meditation, but because then you feel like you've got to go, because if you're, and there's plenty of these online right now, or you can join one meditation of Twin Hearts that are online right now as well, because that might also encourage you, because when we're doing it in a group, it would encourage you. But persevere. It's like going back to the gym analogy. You can't just go one and expect everything to change. So just make it in your plan, put it into your diary, and just keep on trying it. And if it doesn't work, don't give up. Just keep on going. Because we've had many, many years of not doing this. So we need to just keep on trying. And the more times you try it, you'll get better at it. It's like anything in life. And I can absolutely promise you this: when you incorporate it in your life, particularly meditation to inner hearts, which again, it can change people's lives. You actually miss it when you don't do it. So, you will actually feel that, and I definitely feel that. It's like my break every day.
Oh, that sounds brilliant. Well, do you know what? Thank you for coming on and talking about pranic healing and what it can do for you. I mean, obviously, you've got a practice, so people can look you up, can't they?
Yeah, if people want to look me up, I've only got a Facebook page right now. That is Health, Happiness, Healing, Adrian Lee Worger, and they can find me there. Or you can learn this stuff yourself. It is like a cookbook, and I think probably this is modern day stuff. The last course I went to, I had an inventor of a very famous app there. We had a consultant from King's Hospital there. And even like someone like Tony Robbins, who's in business, he takes the meditation on Twin Hearts with him at every show that he does. So this isn't just about, what we might call the old brigade. This is about new modern day business people in this modern world. So people can learn it themselves as well.
Brilliant. All right. Well, thanks, Adrian, and have a lovely Christmas.
Have a great Christmas, everyone. We'll get through this, and 2021, here we come.
Welcome to Tea Time with me. So this is a bit of a Christmas special, Leigh. So I can see you've got your Christmas tree in the background.
That was my effort in my studio, my little studio here. Could have tried a bit harder, I feel, but I hadn't got all the decorations. By the time I got the tree up, I hadn't actually got the decorations down from the loft. So yes, that was my my little tree in my studio.
Oh, lovely. That's what we like to see. Well, I've got Santa's hat here. He left it earlier. So, yeah, hopefully he'll pick it up later.
I hope so, because otherwise his head's going to be very cold.
Yeah. His head is going to be extremely coldly. This is very true. So, what an unusual Christmas for everybody this year.
Yes, very unusual. It is. So,
Yeah.
I think people maybe now sort of starting to hopefully get used to the idea. I think initially everyone went, oh my goodness, this is just horrendous. But then it takes time, doesn't it, sometimes for stuff to settle in and people to go, actually, this is going to be all right. It is going to be all right. So,
yeah, it is going to be all right. And, in some ways, it's nicer to have a quieter Christmas, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I say, I think some people, you spend all your time rushing around shopping, wrapping presents, tidying up the house, tidying up that bedroom that you don't normally use the rest of the year because somebody's coming to stay. And then you've got to think, what do I do with all the rubbish and the junk that I've got in here? So, yeah, it's maybe people, could just take a little bit of time to step back and take a breath and just maybe enjoy or try to enjoy it and say that, it being a little bit calmer this year.
Definitely. I mean, ordinarily for you've been running around the place and you have been sort of linked quite heavily, haven't you, to choreographing Mrs. Brown's Boys as well at Christmas?
Yes, I have. Well, actually, when we record Mrs. Brown's Boys, they tend to do that in October. But it gets you in the Christmas spirit. So yeah, those are recorded in October, and I know they've definitely done 2 Christmas specials this year. They were socially distanced, so unfortunately I wasn't involved this year because obviously I think dancing wasn't really high on their priority list. It was obviously keeping the main cast there and keeping the crew and the main cast safe. So I think I was left out this year, but no problem. I shall still enjoy it on Christmas Day and have a laugh. And fingers crossed, I'll be there next year. And I know Mrs. Brown, they're going back on tour next year. Again, fingers crossed it goes, because they were going to go back out on tour with the musical, which I was involved in last year. We were going to go out again this summer, but it's been postponed again till next summer. So we've just got to say, take a breath, go, this isn't the end of the world. Just hopefully when we come out of this, if we're on the other side, we can get on with this, you know, the things that we love to do and enjoy.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. I mean, it'll be fun. So do tell us, what is it like working with Brendan O'Connell, sorry.
Carol.
Carol!
He, he's absolutely fantastic. The whole team, the whole the Mrs. Brown boys, the crew, the family crew are just amazing. It seriously is a laugh a minute. It is very funny. Yeah. Bit naughty. They're a bit naughty, but they're very funny.
Oh, brilliant. So, because I didn't realise that it's actually his sister, isn't it? Or a family connection.
Right. So Mrs. Brown and his daughter Kathy. So they are married. So that's so he's married to Kathy in real life, and Winnie, which is played by Eilish O'Carroll. That is his sister. So yeah, then you've also got his son in there, who plays Buster. I'm probably forgetting loads of people now. Oh, and then yes, Fiona. There's Fiona Gibney and Fiona O'Carroll. They're in it as well. So Fiona Gibney plays. I've forgotten her name at this moment in time. How could I forget her name? Plays behind the bar, and the daughter Fiona O'Carroll is played. She plays Maria. So I think that's it. I've probably again forgotten somebody else.
No, it's a total family affair anyway.
Yes.
But I mean, this
Sharon the barmaid. That's it. I've just remembered it.
Sharon, brilliant. Yeah. Oh, love it. So yeah, no, lots of fun for everyone by the sounds of things, working with them. Yeah, which is really great.
I feel very honoured to be working with them because they are so lovely, and it is such a fun show to work on. So I feel very honoured and privileged.
Yes, yeah. And I mean, you have totally been busy this year, haven't you? Even though that life has changed considerably for you.
So choreographically, obviously, there hasn't been anything at all for me this year. So that's again, but that's fine. Hopefully next year. But I have a fitness business, and I was doing 10 classes a week out in the community. And come the 17th on the 17th of March, I think that's when Boris announced we were locking down, or that's when we stopped. So 17th of March, everything stopped out in the community, and I just came into, unfortunately, I called my shed. I've got this shed here, and I just took all the classes and we went straight onto Zoom. But that is what I did. So literally all my clients and myself just went straight onto Zoom, and we did a little bit of Facebook as well to start off in the beginning, but then I transferred, I was doing Pilates on Facebook, but then once we knew we were going to be here for a long while, I transferred all the Pilates onto Zoom as well. So, but all the Zumba classes, Zumba Gold, Zumba Toning, Zumba, and the Pilates are now all currently on Zoom. And
brilliant.
So yeah, and I think people were amazed that they actually could manage to get on. And so people of different ages as well. I think my mum, who's 88, she can get onto Zoom. So even young people, all the way up to my mum, can get on and come and do a class and help to keep fit throughout lockdowns.
And I mean, let's face it. I mean, this year, more than ever before, really, it's so important, isn't it, to keep fit and physically fit, mentally fit helps, doesn't it?
Yes, I think we want to be physically fit, because if you're physically fit, again, everything's working, hopefully, in your body correctly, and your immune system is going to be boosted if you are physically fit. So you have a stronger immune system, which again, that's what we want. And mentally as well. So when we exercise, your body is releasing endorphins, which is your happy hormones, so they're the ones that make you feel happy, and also serotonin, and that's the one that affects your mood. So if you've got serotonin, you're going to, hopefully your mood is going to be better. So it is very, very important to exercise to keep physically healthy and, as you say, mentally healthy.
So do you think that's why Mrs. Brown's boys are always so happy and upbeat?
I just think, I have to say, they have got a very positive outlook. They all are very positive people. And again, it's very much like that. There's no problems. If there is an issue with anything, it can be overcome. So nothing's ever like, God, this is just terrible. We're all, you know, like, I think a lot of people are like that. So this is just terrible. And then you spiral down and down and down, because the more you think this is terrible, this is awful, everything spirals down. If you have got this, you know, the outlook that everything is figure outable, everything can be sorted out. It may not be the way you think it's going to be sorted out, but nothing is insurmountable. It can be sorted. So I think that is, it's having that attitude, I think, that helps.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it's certainly rubbed off on you as well, isn't it? Because
I think I am quite a positive person. There are times when I'm going, oh no, everybody hates me. And, you know, sometimes when you're there on Zoom and you turn on and you think, oh, where is everybody? Some weeks, or, you know, some classes, everybody disappears. And then, well, not everybody, but, you know, you think, oh, where's everybody gone? And I sort of go, oh, everybody, they don't love me anymore. But then the following week, everybody's back. It could be that something's happened that night, or the tennis was on, or, you know, or, you know, especially in the summer when the nights were getting lighter and people could go out and exercise outside, they weren't necessarily coming to do stuff, you know, online.
yeah.
Gardens, people that have gardens are out doing their garden, you know, and the call of a glass of rosé probably on their patio at 6 o'clock instead of me doing Zumba was
just too tempting.
Yes.
Tempting. No, I see what you mean. Definitely, it's it has been one of those. But you know, I think it's brilliant that you've managed to put everything online. And I mean, in a roundabout way, you're still doing your choreography, aren't you, with your Zumba?
Yeah. Yes, but yes, because it is. It gives me that artistic. I mean, no, that sort of. It's within me to want to be dancing. So Zumba is amazing for that. So if anybody's never tried Zumba, I'd probably give it a go. It's all little dance routines. So it's like, you have like, I can't remember, you know, you might have a salsa, you might have a cumbia, you might have something called reggaeton, you might have Bollywoods. It's all little different dances, and the choreography is very easy, so people can pick it up very quickly. And again, that music, the music gives you that high, it gives you that buzz, and it makes you feel, you know, great. So that's what is so good about Zumba. It's a very happy form of exercise, I think. So I think sometimes people find exercise and think, oh, exercise is so boring. And
yeah,
you know, it's finding something that you like to do. Even if you haven't, you know, I think that there's a lot of people that don't have the space where they're living to dance around too much. But even if you've got a little space, and put your favorite tune on and just dance. That's the main thing. It's about keeping moving, not sort of doing exercise as we sort of think, oh, we've got to go and do loads of press ups and do a marathon and stuff like that. It's just keeping moving, and you don't have to do hours of it. If you did like, you know, 10 minutes at a time, put on your, say, 4 favorite tracks and just dance around your bedroom. It's about keeping going.
I mean, that sounds amazing. It really honestly does. I mean, I like to dance. What did you think of Strictly Come Dancing?
Oh, brilliant. Yes, it was excellent. I mean, it's just so, again, it's another feel good program, isn't it? It's glorious and glittery, and the music and the dance, and yeah, it's great. Now, you know, you can sort of say, well, was Bill technically better or not, or, you know, but that's who people voted for, and he was fantastic. So yeah,
he was fantastic.
Yeah, yes.
I mean, I think there was a little bit of criticism about, oh, you know, was he technically perfect and all this type of thing. Well, he probably wasn't, but, you know, in my eyes, he had a great musicality, didn't he?
Yes, also it's about entertaining people, isn't it? You know, you could be the greatest, say, singer in the world, but if you're a little bit dull, you know, people go, oh, okay, you're a great singer, but you're a little bit dull. But again, it's having that charisma in your whatever you're performing and putting over, isn't it? You know, and it's like you just might have that little bit of star star quality, you know, that people loved.
I mean, so you've been dancing forever, haven't you? I mean,
yes.
You started dancing.
I think, yeah. I went to stage schools. I can't even remember when I started dancing. So, but I've danced as a child, and I went to stage school, went to arts educational. I left there in '79 and went straight on to be a professional dancer. So I did that for very many years. And then there does come that point, you get older and older, and a dancer's life is quite short. Then I sort of trained in fitness, and then I sort of trained between the fitness and the choreography. So it sort of interweaves really. And fitness wise, you never really stop learning because stuff's changing all the time. So, I'm always doing updating my sort of fitness qualifications, doing new stuff. I think over lockdown has been a great time to go and do new courses because everybody, again, the trainers went online to deliver their courses. So I think I've done more courses in the last 6 months than I've done in the last 6 years. It's been great. So yeah.
Brilliant. No, that sounds really good. And I mean, I think sort of dancing is always in your blood, isn't it, as well?
Yes, I think once you're a dancer, always a dancer. You can't help yourself. And not that I'm doing it at the moment because I'm not going into shops, are we? But if I hear it, I go into a shop and think, oh, I like this, and I have to stop myself from dancing around the shop. That's not a problem at the moment, as we know, because we're not going to any shops. So
no, yeah. Sadly. So, I mean, have you got choreography work lined up for next year, or do you not know yet?
I've got a couple of bits, but until you get your name signed on the bottom of that contract, it's nothing I can really talk about at the moment. But there's definitely something. Hopefully in March, and then hopefully again, Mrs. Brown's Boys will be going out with the musical in the middle of next year. So I'm sure they're going to need a recap of the choreography. It's been a little while since they've done it, so yes.
Be a bit rusty. They'll have to.
The choreographer might be a bit rusty as well, but
yeah. Have to tune into your Zumba classes. Hey,
yes, I'll have to send you a link. Yeah, we're on our Christmas break at the moment, so we'll be back come the 4th of January. And again, I think we'll be online for a few more months yet.
I mean, there is definitely hope out there now, isn't there? I mean, we've got all these wonderful vaccines.
Yes.
So, it won't be long. It's just really, we just got to get through this period. So.
Yes. I mean, if you think about it, it's got to Christmas very quickly from March, and it's just like, oh, where did that go? Sometimes don't get me wrong, there have been times when it's been a slog. And you just think, oh my goodness, is this ever going to end? Then suddenly you find yourself at Christmas and you think, well, actually, I don't think I've been in my shed that long, really.
Wouldn't know it's a shed. Looks very glam.
It's like a bit of wallpaper up.
Good for you. Well, thank you for joining me today for my Christmas special.
Thank you.
Oh, it was lovely to see you, and do keep people being jolly and fit as well.
I'm going to try.
All right, Merry Christmas.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
I'll be back in the new year with another interesting guest on the Tea Time Sofa. But until then, I would like to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year full of hope 2021. Merry Christmas.